Tone.
And this is Nolan.
And we're your hosts.
Tone, what do we have today?
Today we're going to cover the competitive side of martial arts.
We're going to be following some Wushu competitors to give you an in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at the training and preparation for the USA WKF National Championships.
We'll also take a look at the training that mixed martial arts fighters have to go through for their competitions.
And of course, we'll have our usual tips and techniques for you.
We'll go over the hook, the uppercut, the deadlift, and the butterfly kick. So, Nolan, did we get any emails or letters lately?
Yeah, of course we did. We always get tons of email. All right. Here we go. Dear Tone and Nolan, I just got my butt kicked in an MMA tournament over the weekend. But as my back was on the mat and my opponent's knee was on my throat, I thought, this doesn't look like that tournament in the Karate Kid movie. Help me, Tone and Nolan. Why was my tournament so different than that Karate Kid tournament? Love, Candy.
Candy, I'm glad you asked. There are many different types of martial arts tournaments. There are tournaments that emphasize forms and weapons competitions, like Wushu or open or creative forms tournaments. These tournaments also have light contact or point fighting competitions, like in the Karate Kid. In these competitions, points are awarded to competitors on the solid landing of a technique. Throwing techniques with full power is usually frowned upon. San Shou, Muay Thai, and mixed martial arts events are examples of full contact fighting, which have lower emphasis on scoring points. Techniques are thrown with as much power as necessary to temporarily disable, knock out, or cause your opponent to submit.
Wow, Tone, that was awesome. You know, I really like the action and intensity in the fighting and sparring tournaments.
Yeah, and I like the agility and precision needed in the forms and weapons tournaments.
Yeah, but you know, either way, whether you're competing in forms or fighting, you gotta be really hardworking and dedicated to rise to the top.
Speaking of forms tournaments, let's take a look at the Wushu competitors that are getting ready for the USA National Championships.
It starts with
one thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time.
Hi, I'm Angela. I'm the new girl here, and I've been here about 8 months. And all of a sudden, Coach says to me one day, "You want to be in the tournament? Want to be in the competition?" I'm like, "Yeah, that would be so much fun." And so now we're a couple weeks into it, and it's like constant grueling pain and yelling and focus, and it's just so much. And there's me, and then there's Renee, and Renee's like national champ, and it's so much to live up to. And I'm like, how could I ever do this? And then there's Stanley, and Stanley's just, well, he's Stanley, and he's courageous, and he's what Kung Fu should be. And I don't know, and I hope I can live up to the expectations of Coach and Stanley, and I don't know, do you think he likes me, or?
Come on, we can do better, Angela!
I can't believe Angela's competing. She's not that great. It's so much better.
It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all.
Man, Stanley has to train more.
I know, ever since he met that girl, he hasn't been in at all.
I know. I wish that girl would die.
So I met this girl the other day, and she's like hot like a cougar, like just wanna, you know. And well, it's not all that great because she's always talking, you know, like you gotta come hang out. We have to go to dinner, you know. You have to spend more time with me. And why are you training? You know, hanging out with all the guys and whatever, and you know all that girl stuff demanding on your time, you know. But I can't just give up my Wushu, you know. So I need to figure out a way to balance this out, and you know, I haven't met a girl this hot in forever. Oh God, man.
You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart.
Come on, Renee, let's go! Go!
Man, that Renee could be a movie star.
I think he's very popular in Germany already. I like him even more than David Hasselhoff.
My name's Rene Herrera. Yeah, I'm training for this tournament, but you know, it's just like any other tournament. I mean, I've won tons of these things, and you know, everybody says I'm so good, and I've been doing this for a lot of years now. But I mean, you know, I don't do it for myself. I mean, I do it for my mom, my dad, my sister. I mean, I think I could really go far with this, and I want a better life for them. That's who I do it for. Not for me, but you know, I just don't know how long. I don't know if I can do it. I mean, I'm just not as good as people think I am. I have to try so hard. I have to try so hard, and I just stop. Just turn off the stop. Just turn it off.
So Tone, what wushu technique are we going over today?
Today we'll cover the butterfly kick. It's an aerial kick that requires grace, coordination, and agility. Let's take a look at the butterfly kick right now. When performing the butterfly kick, make sure to reach back with your left hand and look past your left hand before you drop your body to the left. This will help in the transfer of power. Reach back, drop your body, turn and pivot, kick the right leg up as high as possible, push off the floor with the left leg as hard as possible, then kick your left leg up as high as possible. You can lift your head a little bit, but make sure to keep your body horizontal. Okay, it's time to see how this tournament's going to play out for our wushu competitors.
Alright, while you're doing that, I'm going to go talk to Brian Gassaway. He's currently getting ready for his next mixed martial arts fight.
Okay, I'll meet you back here.
Alright. Man.
Hi, we're at the U.S. Wushu Kung Fu National Championship. I'm here with Anthony Go, the president of the U.S. Wushu Kung Fu Federation. Sir, how are you?
Fine.
What do you think of today's tournament so far?
I think we had a great tournament today. We got a lot of athletes coming from all across the country here competing. I see some very good competitors here. I think we had a nice event today.
What do you think that Americans can do in order to become better in Wushu?
Well, the challenge for American Wushu is that we don't have a lot of events in the West, in America or Pan America, unlike the Asian countries, where they have a professional team, and Wushu is part of the Asian Games, Southeast Asia Games, South Asia Games, East Asia Games. They have Asian Games and Asian Wushu Championships, the World Championships. So many competition in Asian countries that they have professional teams. I think the popularity of Wushu in America is doing quite well, especially in the last 15 years, but we're not meeting the highest standard because we don't have professional teams like the Asian countries do. I think that will need time. I think it will be a while.
Sir, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks.
Again, this is Anthony Go, president of the USA Kung Fu Wushu Federation.
we're here with Otto Torriero, out of Canada, a great fighter, professional fighter, still active, fought with many great guys and trained with many great guys. One of the founders of the Iron Academy here. Currently, he's training Brian Gassaway and preparing him for his next fight. So if you had the ideal amount of time to get your fighter completely 100% ready for a fight, how do you break that down? How do you structure the training?
It depends from fighter to fighter, but in general, what you're going to do is a couple months out, you're going to start slowly building intensity, and that's in all workouts. So you're going to have, start cardio, so you can go, run maybe 8-minute miles for half an hour, that sort of thing. To about a month out, where you want to kind of start increasing it to maybe 7-6-minute miles, and you're going to be doing striking, grappling, hitting a lot of pads, doing a lot of rounds. A lot of grappling, jiu-jitsu, that sort of thing. And typically what you'll do is you'll want to peak 2 weeks before the fight. That's when the most intense, the most, the most cardio is going to be at your max. And then at that point, partly to prevent injuries and partly just to kind of, let your body recover, you're going to start tapering off. And especially that last week is not going to be as intense because you're just going to keep the cardio up. You know the skills are there, and you don't want your fighter to get an injury or a cut that's going to hurt him in the fight.
Thank you for your time, Otto.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go talk to Brian. We're here with Brian Gassaway. He's a professional MMA fighter on a world level. We've seen him in UFC. We've seen him in King of the Cage. We've seen him in Pancrase. He's been everywhere. He's over 20 wins on his record. So, Brian, how do you get into UFC and King of the Cage and all those different leagues?
You have to get with a camp, have to train hard, and start out, amateur shows, and just kind of make your way up.
How did it feel to be standing in that cage in Vegas and, and fighting in front of a huge crowd of celebrities and around fighters like Chuck Liddell, Couture, and knowing that they're going to be on the mat next,
Right. Well, you know what? I mean, it's definitely a rush, but the rush comes when you're actually there in the venue. When that cage locks, it's just more on one.
What do you go through to prepare yourself for a fight, such as a UFC match?
You just got to go a lot of rounds. Basically, what I do is I do 5-minute rounds, and I do increments. So 5 minutes and a minute rest, and I can do that for an hour and a half. Just straight. You got to push yourself beyond your limit. That's the only way you get better. But you have to mix everything up. You got to do your jiu-jitsu, you got to do your wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai, judo, all that good stuff. And find a way to incorporate all that into one training regime.
So what do you feel like is your strongest point when you get in there, when you get into the ring? What are your strengths?
I love hitting people. I just love the sound of when my fist just cracks somebody's skull. There's nothing like a knockout. There's nothing like it. So that's kind of what I'm known for. I'm known for my stand-up. A lot of it is mental, so you take care of that before the fight, and as well as when you walk into the ring and you know that you're in tip-top shape and everything, that definitely plays a factor too.
Well, thank you so much for your time. You've been great. Good luck to you.
While we're waiting for Nolan, let's go talk to Erik Paulson. He's a 2-time world shou champion who trains many mixed martial arts stars, including Sean Shirk and Ken Shamrock. Paulson, 2-time world light heavyweight shou champion. He's trained a lot of great fighters in the MMA, including the legendary Ken Shamrock. Sir, how are you?
Pleasure to meet you.
A couple of questions for you. We all watch, Ultimate Fighter on Spike and Pride on Fox, and we all think, yeah, we could get in there and, we could really pound away. But what does it really take to be a successful MMA fighter?
Heart, testicular fortitude, also skill, hard training, skill, and the ambition to want to fight and to press things beyond what they normally are, to go to a higher level.
You've obviously taken it to the highest level. You've trained and fought in both Japan and the United States. You've won championships both in Japan and the United States. And you train fighters on both sides of the Pacific. Could you speak about the differences between Japanese fighters and American fighters, if there's any difference?
Japanese fighters like American style. They like American culture. A lot of them are now getting tattoos, which they didn't have before. Very technical. They train real hard. A lot of their training is spirit training. A lot of Americans come in. They're very strong, very athletic. A lot of the Japanese fighters are more technicians than a lot of the American fighters, where a lot of the guys going into it from America are good kickboxers or good grapplers or good wrestlers. They work everything mixed. But I think we come from more of an athletic-based background than Japan does.
Okay. And now, you know, like I said, we watched Pride on Fox. We watched the UFC on Spike. You got the International Fight League. You got the, you know, World Extreme Cage Fighting. Where do the best fighters fight?
Well, a lot of the good fighters right now are training A-class in the UFC, obviously, Pride. WFA, King of the Cage has got some good fighters. There's a bunch of new events coming up all over the place. California, it's now legal. So a lot of the fighters are fighting in a lot of smaller events.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Tone, what's up?
Hey.
How'd the tournament go?
Good. Angela was able to overcome her first tournament jitters and win a gold medal.
Oh, what about Stanley? Did he choose love or wushu?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Stanley was able to prioritize his life, have enough time to work out, and still get the girl.
Cool. What about Renee? How'd he do?
Renee did exceptionally well. He was able to overcome his insecurities and win the all-around grand championship.
Wow.
What about Brian Gassaway?
Oh, Brian looks great. I think he's going to be real ready for his fight. But, you know, he's training in grappling, he's training in takedowns and striking. But, you know, he told me what it really takes is the heart and dedication to be able to push yourself past what you think your limits are.
You know, while you were gone, I talked to Erik Paulson, and he said exactly the same thing.
Yeah? Erik Paulson? I love that guy. I remember going to one of his seminars. I learned a ton from him.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Oh, check this out. You got a guy's leg like this, you got him in a knee bar, right? Or you can put him in a power knee bar, or you always have the toe hold, or the reverse toe hold. And then, you know, you always finish him with the heel hook if you need to.
Erik Paulson has great seminars. Go to erikpaulson.com to find out more information.
But Erik teaches more than just grappling. He knows that to be a complete mixed martial arts fighter, you also need your takedown skills, your clinch fighting skills, and of course striking.
Two of my favorite strikes are the hook and the uppercut. The hook and the uppercut are close-range punches that really generate a lot of power.
Yeah, remember when Tyson used to be good?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I watch him get inside and throw those hooks and uppercuts and knock out so many guys.
Sure. And in mixed martial arts competitions, when your opponent tries to clinch with you or grab you, you could really let the hook and uppercut fly to create problems for your opponent.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the proper execution of the left hook.
From your basic fighting stance, transfer your weight to the right foot as you pivot on the ball of your left foot when throwing the left hook. Make sure to keep the shoulder up, get the elbow up, and keep your chin down.
Now let's take a look at the right hook.
When throwing either the left or the right hook, make sure the power is coming from the hips and legs. Make sure to keep the punches tight, keep the shoulders up, and chin down. When throwing the hooks in combination, make sure to get penetration with the left hook to keep the punches short, so you can come back quickly with the right hook.
Let's take a look at the left uppercut.
When throwing the left uppercut, make sure to bend the knees, drop the body, and drive up with the hips and legs. Make sure the heart of the fist is facing you as you throw your uppercut.
And here's the right uppercut.
When throwing the right uppercut, really drive up with the right hip. Keep the chin down and keep your shoulders up. Again, the heart of the fist should be facing you as you throw the punch. Here's how you can throw the uppercuts on the focus mitts. You can really generate a lot of power when you're throwing these punches in combination.
Wow, those were some powerful hits.
Speaking of power, today's exercise will develop power from the hips, lower back, and legs. Leg and lower back strength is really important in martial arts. The leg strength is obvious, but without lower back and ab strength, you really put yourself in a position for injury.
You're talking about core strength.
Right.
Like in Pilates?
Right, you can do Pilates, but in martial arts you really need explosive power. If you want to be like Tito Ortiz and be able to pick people up, or if you want to be like Jet Li and jump through the ceiling, you really need to do exercises like the deadlift. To do a proper deadlift, keep the weight close to your body, keep your back as straight as possible, and keep your head up. Keep your lower back tight, and push your hips forward throughout the motion. At no point do you want your lower back to round out.
Hey Tone, do we have any short films to watch?
Sure. Today what we're going to watch is episode 8, Interview with the Empire.
Cool. What's that about?
Well, in this one, we'll see how the bad guy interviews and recruits his henchmen.
Let's take a look.
If you please. You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox. It is not the art, but the combat that you enjoy.
We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact, and we're very, very pissed off.
We are all ready to win, just as we are born knowing only life. It is defeat that you must learn to prepare for.
We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives.
Sparta, Rome, the knights of Europe, the samurai. They worship strength because it is strength that makes all other values possible. Nothing survives without it. Who knows what delicate wonders have died out of the world for want of the strength to survive?
Fuck what you know. You need to forget about what you know. That's your problem.
Very few people can be totally ruthless. It isn't easy. It takes more strength than you might believe. I'm hoping you'll join us, represent us in the United States.
A better solution. You keep me on the payroll as an outside consultant, and in exchange for my salary, my job will be never to tell people these things that I know. I don't even have to come into the office. I can do this job from home.
And that's all the time we have for you today.
Don't forget to email us your questions and comments at thewoofactor@gmail.com.
I'm Tone.
And this is Nolan.
And we'll see you next time
on The Woo Factor.